All right, so let's go. Got it. Okay. Who wants to, oh, it's lovely to see all these faces. Who wants to go first? Who has something they want to share? Let's go there.
I'll go ahead and go just because, I mean, fatal hesitation, I guess. Hey, you guys, I'm so happy to see you, actually. And I'm running crazy and I'm a little frazzled, but 'cause like Pat said, I'm headed to the wilderness in Washington. So we're doing a backpack tour for 2 weeks. I've only been out on the trail for 6 days before, so this might be interesting. We'll see. One of the things that I had a huge realization at seminar, and I wanted to get everybody's feedback on it. Talking to one of my newer consultants who was at seminar with me, and I said, Kim, what do you think holds you back the most from, succeeding in your business and doing the things we know we need to do that? And she said, it's fear of rejection. And I sat with that for a minute because I feel like with customers, warm chatters, even potential team members, I've really worked to get over that. That fear of rejection. I kind of do the work, do it anyway, whatever. And I was sitting at awards night. And by the way, I sat. Okay, sat. I went to get popcorn, people. That's the event that happened at seminar, but my butt was in the seat the rest of the time. So that's never happening again. Anyway, so I had time to think when everybody was going across the stage, because, you look at dresses and you think they're great and whatever, and you get on your phone and whatever. So I really felt like God tapped me on the shoulder and said, hey, let's talk about, he didn't, but you know what I mean? Let's talk about that rejection thing. Let's talk about that for a second. And I was like, oh, well, okay, I'm really fine. I'm good. He said, well, I think you do have fear of rejection. I was like, okay. And then I sat there and I started typing in my phone. And what I discovered was I have a fear of rejection from my team. So all of a sudden, I'm ugly crying, people. Coming undone. And Frankie looks at me and Kim looks at me and they're like, what happened to you? And I'm like, okay. So fear of rejection from my unit led to the inability to set goals. Because of the fact that from past experience,
Right.
And basically just experience in all of this in general, I would feel alone in the goal. And so I just wanted to see what you guys had to say about that. There are crickets. Now, come on, you guys.
Anybody on the same page?
Bethany, I think it's very common to feel alone in a goal, especially when as directors, we've been doing this longer than our people. And so our people's aspirations might be just like getting a booking. And for us, it's, well, a booking is hello, right? And so it often feels like we're alone in a goal because we're the only ones working at the full level to reach that goal. But I think for me, what's helped me when I feel like I'm alone in a goal is to step back and realize that everybody's little piece makes up that goal, and to really hone in on those little pieces. So like if I can hone in on like, oh my gosh, your 5 bookings this week are so huge in us achieving our goal this month, then they feel like their little booking is just as important as my 10 show week, because I do those all the time. So but you know what I mean? Like, right. I think sometimes because we're playing full out, we think we're the only ones playing. But if we can celebrate them at the level that they're at, sometimes just celebrating them where they're at makes them think, oh my gosh, I am a part of this. And then even if it's, I got 2 more bookings, they're playing with you, even if it's not like at the same level we are. And I think for me, I've been there, Bethany, I've been there a lot. A lot, especially earning a car because we're the ones who drive it. Right. And so I had to get that out of my mind that we're the ones who drive it. So it's really not their goal. So it really finding out like, well, if I'm driving a car, if I'm driving a pink Cadillac, that means that there's someone else who's making an income that they weren't making before, or there's somebody else who's maybe going on target or earning their first free car, or, there's all these different pieces I have to like really get in my head, but I have been there. And I have to say, I'm thankful I have something attached to this new goal, the baby, that makes that it's my baby, it's my car, but we're all having a baby. So it doesn't feel as alone because I'm making it ours by like having them enroll in naming the pink Cadillac. So they got to vote on the name of the pink Cadillac, having them get to, just choose a lot of different things. And I think having them name the Cadillac was a big thing because the person who initially came up with the name that was chosen, she feels like everybody chose my name. And she feels so like big and important in the role of what we're doing, even though all she did was come up with a name. So I don't know if that helps any, but I know what you're talking about. I think it's just having to like break it down. Maria's probably also got some tips.
I do. Well, Bethany, first, I just want to applaud you because, first of all, to sit through the whole thing and only leave for popcorn is amazing. Secondly, to be present enough to hear God's whisper is a gift in itself, and to just own your reaction. And then thirdly is remember that God's evidence and the vision he gave you when you shared with us about the Cadillac, whose names were you putting on? So right. I think that these thoughts are coming from the thoughts of doubt or the other source versus God's vision for you. And don't let the devil trick you that the fear of rejection from your unit, when your vision was you said to us, it was your people's names that were signing, which to me shows that your unit is your home base. It's your safe. It can be your safe place. It can be your environment to grow. It's just sometimes we start believing something different.
Yeah, that realization in of itself helped to cure it. You know what I mean? Like just realizing that was something that was totally blocking me from even setting the goal. This is why I sat here and just cried buckets with you guys. And I'm like, is it okay to cry in here? Because I can't stop, because of the realization that I wasn't setting the goal because I fell out of integrity. Well, that was the first piece. Well, the second piece is that I feared rejection or feared that I would have zero support in it. Like they would think it was too big or, okay. So yeah. So all of this has been remarkably helpful. And by the way, best $75 I spend is this. Like I would, yeah. So anyway, I thought of you guys. And by the way, Amanda, I saw you come off stage. I was like, oh, she pregnant and she beautiful. Saw that, and saw the pictures of everybody else. So yeah.
And Naomi's dress was gorgeous. I saw that on Facebook, the red. You look hot, baby.
Wasn't she beautiful?
Yeah. Okay,
Thank
so Bethany,
you.
let's come back. I can't tell you how many people, without mentioning your name, I have told about your vision of the pink Cadillac with the people's names. And how many people that's inspired, directors, that's inspired, okay? So please take that to heart. I'm not just saying that. I thought that visual was brilliant and can mobilize your whole team, okay? So what's happening, my hunch is that two things. One is you're grieving some of these old feelings, all right? That's why when somebody punches you or pokes you in the nose a little bit, you just flood. Okay, that isn't a new wound. Let me put it that way. That's an old wound. And that's a wound that is being cleansed by those tears. All right, so I would honor those tears, feel good about them. Don't in any way say that means, you know, oh, I'm doubting myself or I'm a mess or whatever. No, it means that in life, we have our linear track of life. We go through our day and we have our emotional track. We have two things. Sometimes they're together, sometimes they're very far apart. And that means that you're living your daily life. And at the same time, there's this processing going on in your brain and your heart. And so something in your daily life pops up and it triggers your emotional life. And there's this, oh my gosh. And that's hard to take for most of us because it's unusual, right? We're not used to that. We don't walk around crying all day and we're going, oh my God, what's wrong with me? I'm cracking up. I better call Pat or whatever. So, and you're not, you are not. You have evolved to a place where you are letting go of that holding on to that fear. Okay, so that's one thing you're doing. The other thing I believe is that fear of rejection has nothing to do with other people. Frankly, they can't reject you. Only you can reject you. It's your definition of what's happening that rejects you. Okay, I'm going to give you a really quick little thing that I had this morning. I'm at my friend's house, right? We went out to dinner last night with another woman that is a good friend of hers, my friend, and I've met several times, and she was very nice to me and brought me a little present because it was my birthday and all this kind of stuff.
Happy birthday.
Thank you, a couple days ago. But anyway, so this morning, without the friend, I'll just give her a name, Susie. My friend's name is Mary. Mary and I are having coffee. Mary is on, Susie calls, she's got her on speaker. Susie is saying, you know, Pat offended me last night with her teeth. And the green stuff that was hanging out of my teeth, apparently, that I had I was going, oh my God. I'm sitting there hearing this, okay? And I have braces. I have new braces, relatively new. And so I'm sure there was a piece of salad hanging out of my teeth. I mean, I have no question she was right. But I'm offended by her. So then it became clear that she was on speakerphone. So now we got to deal with it, right?
Oh my gosh.
There's no denying it. I'm sitting there. Hi, Susie. Yeah, you've been outed. And so I texted her. I said, next time, I would really appreciate you telling me directly, and I would be glad to get whatever is in my teeth out of my teeth. And I'm sorry it was offensive to you. No, I didn't say I'm sorry. I said, yeah. I said, I will take care of it. And it was direct. It was immediate. Okay. And there was a part of me that wanted to slink off, go in the bathroom, check my teeth, and feel bad about it, that I had spinach in my teeth all night and I had offended her. Okay. There was another part of me that said, I'm not taking this on. No. I'm dealing with it directly. And then it set up all these emails. Oh, can you forgive me? I said, there's nothing to forgive. However, you might tell people directly rather than talking behind their back. So my point being is that I didn't reject myself. Okay. I could have. I might have many years ago. It wasn't mine to take on. Yes, I had spinach or something in my teeth. Yes, she didn't like it. And yes, she didn't say anything about it. She chose kind of badmouth me to my friend. not a choice. I support. And I let her know it. Okay, I wasn't nasty. I was very direct. And so she's probably reeling all day long, but that's her issue. So you don't give the rejection power. It can only exist if you give it power. All right? And the rejection is not coming from them. She didn't reject, well, I mean, she was offended and she, I quote, could have felt rejected. However, I let that be her and not me. I would have had to agree with her that I was offensive, that I did something, you carry it out, wrong, bad, inappropriate, none of which happened, And so my illustration is that you have a choice about being rejected. So you need a new story. The story you play in your head has to be one of, I love my team loves me, we're in this together. I choose to be the leader I want to be, which is to heal any doubts I have. And the other thing, Bethany, and this is for everybody, is there's nothing more powerful to unite a group than sharing with them. You stand up in front of your people and you say, you know what? I cried at seminar because I felt that I was being rejected. Now, this is my thing. I made it up. You're not rejecting me, but I had these feelings. Anybody in here ever have those feelings? Everybody. So then you go, okay, well, let's talk about that. Because if you're feeling it, they're feeling it. And believe me, the reason people do not recruit, sell, or anything is this whole rejection thing. And I'm going to cover that a lot in my free seminar, by the way, because it's what holds people together. I mean, it's what stops them.
Right.
The fear of.
And
So,
Pat,
yeah.
one of the things that I did do after I got back from seminar, we had a meeting on Tuesday, and I did say that to them.
Good.
I did. And there were just a few on, although I have the recording, but it was kind of amazing, the reaction. I didn't get a lot of verbal reaction, but their faces were like, what?
Yeah.
And it was precious and it was classic. But I really think that there was some awareness there, because one of the individuals in the room has been with me a long time.
Mhm.
And I think there was some awareness there where that might have come from, that fear. You know what I'm saying? So there was there was kind of a, but I said, you guys, this is a story I've been telling myself, and it's no longer the story. So here's what we're doing. We're going for that pink Cadillac. Woo, Yep.
And here's the new story. So end that sentence. The new story is, I choose to believe we're all together as a team. I choose to believe that I love you and you love me, and we're going to make this happen. Your names are on that Cadillac. Yeah. Yeah. So spin it out a little further, and teach them the I choose. You get them saying I choose. I can't tell you how much that's going to help. Really. Yeah. Amy, go ahead. You have something to say.
Oh, well, I was thinking something. You and I you must be psychically reading my mind. All I was going to say, and I don't know that this is any part of where the core of that feeling of not wanting to be rejected by your unit is coming from, but the only times that I have felt that feeling is when I knew I wasn't supporting them at the level that I had told them I would. So I like, for instance, their birthdays came and went.
Let me see.
Their, I stopped sending out the little handwritten notes saying, I'm thinking of you. I stopped sending a little handwritten note in the prizes they had earned. All things that because I was disassociating and feeling, I wasn't sure what I was doing really and what I was going for in those years, then everybody got blurred. And then it was very hard for me to come back when everyone was blurred and to say, oh my gosh, we're going to go for this Cadillac. All of you get on board. We're in our last 3 months. Support, support, support. When inside, I knew that I had not provided for 12 months a relationship building experience for them. So it was extremely hard for me to go on and say, this is what we're going to do, because I hadn't done anything towards them to build trust, build a relationship, build a, I know you and you know me.
Yeah.
So that's just where I was coming from in listening to that. Cause I think we've all been there. I think we've all felt, I can't put this out there because they're not going to respond. In my case, I always knew in my gut what I shook off, like put it on the side and said, it's not that important. It doesn't make that much difference. It does.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this may be a whole new era for you, Bethany. You know, you may just be I mean, it's like, you know, the peeling the onion, shedding skin, getting exfoliated emotionally, and then being really able to take off. Because, you know, we all went to junior high school. We're all afraid of rejection, you know. It's bred into the female culture. However, that was a long time ago, and we got to fight back. And we got to fight back the part of us that buys that anybody has the power to do that to us, because they don't. They absolutely don't. You know, and we have moments where we doubt it. You know, but there's what we need to teach. We need to teach that the only person who can reject you is you, and I can reject myself if I choose to, but I don't choose to, and I don't want you to choose to. So let's fight this together. Now, you never got my little training, which you will, well, hopefully you'll listen to, about Aunt Ethel. And I won't bore everyone about this, but because I tell this all the time, but I will tell it to your people about hungry or full. That when people say no, it isn't about you, it's about them, whether they're full of everything in their lives, or where they're hungry. And what you're looking for is hungry people. If they're full, they say no. Fair enough, you know? You don't say yes to everybody, or else you would have 150 cable connections. You know, you'd be on every MasterCard in the world if you said yes. So you don't say yes. You know, so it's okay. No, it's okay. It's not rejection. Anyway, you're good. Keep talking about it. Keep talking to your people about it. The more you talk about it, the more you bring it up to light, people have ahas like you did, you know, little light bulbs go off and they go, no, I'm not going to let that person make me feel bad. No, protest. No, take my power back. Fire them. Anyway.
Hey, can I say something?
Yeah, sure, Joy.
Okay.
Hi.
Hi, everyone. Excuse me. I have to like clear my voice with my hand. Oh my gosh, you guys. It's the prettiest piece of jewelry that Mary Kay has offered, I think. It is just so stunning, but nothing like the one next year, right? So I saw somebody post something and I had to grab it. It said 22 was good, but 23 is going to be even better. And so Bethany, 23 is your year. I can feel it in my bones. So, you know, that rejection that goes kind of across, and I have been feeling that in my family. My youngest son, Billy, is getting married tonight in San Diego.
Oh,
I know, my eye's gonna water here in just a minute if I don't like
okay.
tell it to stop. You know, a lot of emotion there because he left under bad circumstances, if you guys remember. But he's getting married tonight, and my biggest fear is the rejection. And my husband said, you know, who are you afraid? What rejection are you afraid of? And I was like, I couldn't pinpoint it. And I think it is rejection of from people that I shouldn't really care. And so I'd like for you to speak to that just a little bit. Like, why do I care if they don't, you know, it's like her side of the family. Why do I care? It's literally going to be 2 adults and 3 kids that I'm afraid of. And my entire 16 people of our family is going to be there. Why am I so eager to want the approval of these people over here that don't know me well, when I'm going to have 16 of us on my side that is going to be there to lift me up and pray, and you know, we'll be there together, right? Why do we care so much about the opinion of people that don't matter? And that does trickle into our business.
That's such a huge statement. Huge. Why do we care so much about the people that don't matter? And the answer is we shouldn't. We shouldn't. And the why maybe is, you know, from our histories, from our experiences. Have they treated you badly, Joy? Has there been anything?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, okay. Then
Take that big ring and just punch them with it.
Yeah,
Oops,
like-
I'm sorry. That's not the appropriate thing. Never mind. Listen to Pat.
no, you're absolutely right. Punch them with it before you go. Okay. I want you to take a good 5-10 minutes, beat pillows, stomp your feet, protest, get your anger up. I mean, protest how mean they've been. Protest, I don't like you. I don't like how you treated me. You're wrong. Say whatever you need to do, Joy, but do it before you go. Okay. Then when you're there, kill them with kindness. Kill them with kindness. Nothing quotable. Not that you would, but nothing quotable. Everything nice, superficial. Stay with them as little as possible. And just know I won the war. You may have started battles, but I won the war. Yay, Joy, you can do this.
I can do
Good
this.
for you.
Yeah, killing them with kindness, heaping coals of kindness on their head is like just what I've been trying to do. Something, nothing quotable. Yeah.
Nothing
Yeah.
quotable to them.
Joy, just real quick.
You left out the most important piece, and that is protest first. I want you got to get the anger and frustration out first, then come in with the kindness. You can't put kindness and mean it over smoldering volcanic rage.
Mhm.
Not that you're rageful, but you know.
Mhm.
So also for me, sometimes when I'm in those situations, I have to tell myself like, yeah, I think processing through it, obviously Pat is genius about that because we don't do it, right? We just say, okay, I'm just going to go and just going to like, but the other thing is hurting people hurt people.
Yeah.
So they're probably a mess.
Without a doubt.
I mean, and
Yeah.
you know, and you're probably a light that offends that. I mean, who gets offended by spinach in somebody's teeth? Please. I mean, they're probably that kind of people. And I don't mean that in a nasty way. I just mean it in a way of, sometimes that's a way of not taking it on by saying, okay, this is the kind of, you know, sometimes there's just people like that in our life. But I'm just grateful that all of you would tell me when I had spinach in my teeth.
I know. What kind of friend doesn't tell you that? Or,
Right? Or toilet paper on my shoe.
yeah, or acquaintance, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Joy, but you're so sweet and you're so spiritually, you know, high. I know this is difficult to do, but I truly want you to protest. Okay? Take a shower and kill them in your shower. All right? Just stomp a little bit, throw your soap. Yeah. You're fired. You're fired from hurting me. You're fired from making me feel bad. You're fired from having any power over me. No, 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 no. I'm gonna have somebody run in here in a minute. See who I'm killing. But it's the first thing to do when you're hurt and when you're anticipating. This is anticipatory hurt. You're anticipating you're going to be hurt, you know? And I really want to hear next week you beat it, you know? You can. Yeah.
I'm gonna beat it with false eyelashes. I'm gonna look my best, and yeah, I've got a beautiful gift of a gas card. They're going on a little road trip for their honeymoon, so we're gonna give them a gas card. And I thought it would be really special if I gave. See, her mom was my client. That's how my son. Yeah, that they were in homeschooling co-op together, and I facialed her mom. And so I thought it would be really kind if I gave her, like, I don't know if I should give her Mary Kay, but I thought I would give her a gift as a mom to a mom, you know? And so I'm going to do that today. We'll be leaving here about 2:00. So you guys pray for me tonight.
That's a protest before. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, yeah.
All right. I'm not,
Thank you. But you know what? We anticipate in our business too. I was like, that was like coming to my mind, like I anticipate sometimes, and then that kind of keeps us from doing what we need to do, right? Kind of
right.
walk
I'm
ourselves in a
writing that
circle.
down. I love that. I love that. You know, I'm going to use that. Anticipatory rejection. So true. Okay. Anticipatory rejection. And we set up this whole scenario before we've ever talked to them. You know, it's like they're too whatever, they're too rich, they're too pretty, they're too involved in something else, they're too blah, 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 to want to talk to me. Right? So we've got this whole scenario before we even talk to them. Yeah, I'll use that with the consultants for sure. Yeah. And we've got to turn that around. Nobody can reject you but you. And
Maria Evans just invited me over to her house to punch pillows together. As soon as we're done here, I'm like, okay, I'm coming.
Well, because you got to get your makeup on, and that way you'll be accountable, and I can do it too.
I love that.
You know, you're so sweet. Yeah. Okay.
I'm literally not kidding. If you want
Oh,
to,
oh yeah. I'm not kidding. I got my keys. I'm ready.
I love that. All right. Okay, you're good. You're good. All right, let's hear from somebody else. Who else has something they want to share? All right, come on. Jump in, guys.
Okay, I will. So this is so, this is so deep down that I had to write it on a piece of paper because it was a aha, and then it left because it's that deep. I was like, oh gosh, where did my aha go? What was that I just had figured out? And I think that happens to me a lot when there's something that's like down in my core that I'm not conscious of on a constant basis. It comes and goes. For a minute, I think, oh, there's the answer. And then I'm like, what was that again that I just thought? I don't even understand. So this all goes back to the whole thing last week when I was talking about systems.
Yeah.
So this is what I wrote down on the piece of paper because it's not even at the surface enough for me to verbalize it yet. I am super great at driving the masses with systems because I'm in the driver's seat and I'm the one deciding what goes out and where and when. And I know that what goes out is productive, profitable, and perfect. I get anxiety, however, when new consultants start requesting and having questions that are dominating my day. When I'm not in the driver's seat and the questions and the requests are coming to me and it is a step-by-step answer, I start getting high anxiety trying to keep up with fielding all the questions and providing the perfect whatever I want to give them. And what I found myself doing yesterday at the kitchen table, it's the first time I've ever caught the thought. In the back of my head, there was a loop running. Oh my gosh, if this is happening to me with one new person in this virtual world that's wanting to go forward and move quick, how in the world am I going to handle 10?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I haven't. I defaulted back to systems because I can drive that. There's no anxiety. I'm in charge. I know they're already set up perfectly and exactly what I want them to say. It's when things start coming at me that my anxiety level tops out and I start shutting things down.
Well, and you know this, Amy, and it's true of all of us alpha women. It's a control issue. You don't
Absolutely.
like control. And so let's reassert your control. That's a great question. And we're going to have we're going to take it up at team meeting. So you defer the answer. You keep the question, okay? Say, you bring it up or I'll bring it up. Great question. Love the question. We're going to take it up for everybody. You're now in control. There's always one consultant or always one person who just, spends their whole day sending you stuff or whatever, and I have a little bit of insulation with Curtis and I don't do it, but I will say to people, great question. We will take this up when we're all together.
So I think what is interesting about what has caused this awareness of anxiety about this is I can defer consultants that are not producing. It's the consultants that start producing and producing heavy and producing strong, and they have a track record of progress. And I know this consultant, I know she will become a director. Those are the ones that start causing, which is probably why I half-heartedly develop leaders, because the process in my head of developing a leader perfectly is overwhelming and I just rather not.
Yeah. Well, you gotta change that story. So you get an emerging leaders group, 2, 3, I don't care, doesn't matter. Maybe not, maybe 4. It's not everybody. It's not your Monday night meetings. It's the emerging leaders, and they have to have done something to get in it. Maybe you announce that you have to have had 10 appointments this week or something. And then you let the group help you help them.
That is, yeah.
That's why I love group. I love group because I don't have to do it all. In individual counseling, I'm on all the time. In group, if we get a good functioning group like you guys, you're helping each other, okay? I don't have to do it all.
Oh.
But I'm still in charge.
Oh, that's very eye-opening. Because
No, yes, it
imagine,
does. It
it-
also helps other people emerge allow their leadership skills to emerge as well, right?
Yeah,
well, it's the difference of what's happening right now. Imagine if every single one of us had sent a voicemail to Pat and said, I need to talk to you today about this. And there was 6 of us, 7 of us that had sent that. That makes, this was a perfect way to describe it to me.
yeah, yeah. And and I love group because of what Joyce said. You develop people, even inadvertently, as they hear you talk to one person, they take their bite of that, as they should. And then they incorporate it, and then something bubbles up for them. And it's fun. You can have a good time with it. You don't have to feel so serious. It doesn't have to be perfect. And the first thing you talk about is excellence versus perfection. We're all going for excellence, not perfection.
That's awesome.
We all have spinach in our teeth at times.
Boy, isn't that the truth? Wow. I had braces as an adult also. And it was, I had them as a kid and had them as an adult, and the adult braces were way more challenging than the kid braces. So
Yeah. Well, this is my 3rd time with braces, and I married a retired dentist. Got to wonder about that.
I love it.
Yeah, well, whatever. Okay, good. You good?
Good.
Yeah, and that's for everybody. Okay, make them earn your time. Okay, your time is valuable. Give them, and if you set up, you could call it excellence, a club of excellence. I know you have all kinds of names, different things, but your emerging leaders, as you see them and you want to love them and you want to keep them going, and you don't have the time for 10, nobody has the time for 10, put them together, love up on them in a group, let them love up with each other, have a boxer, is it boxer, which you guys, boxer, for the group, and keep them, stirred, keep the pot stirred. Because you're right, if they don't get attention, they will wander, okay? But you don't have enough of you to give all those people attention. So give them attention in a group. Or I do. Okay, who else? Yeah, somebody else. Somebody's got something to ask, say, report. Amanda, Naomi, Maria, Chris, we haven't heard from you. Let's hear. Naomi, the girl with the red dress. What's that great song? What's that
I
great
got
song?
so many compliments on that dress. I think I rented it. I think I'm gonna buy it and just wear it around my house all day.
You looked really good in it. What is it? The Lady in Red. You ever heard that song?
Yes. Oh yeah. Yeah. No, it was a fabulous dress. I loved it. I gave up desserts and wine to fit in that dress. Like, it was a sacrifice, people.
Yeah.
So I've loved hearing from all of you. And I think what I was after seminar, one of the main things I took away was I knew I went there wanting to grow my unit, and that, where I'm at now won't get me what I want in the future. So I knew there had to be some growth. And one of our speakers emphasized focusing on 5 new recruits by the 15th of the month, and then helping them get their first recruit and so on, and expanding that way. And I see a lot of value in that, but I realized I was hesitating because I felt scared about how that would change my life. And isn't that so funny, like, to, verbalize that? But it's true. And I was like, how am I going to help these new people and still do this? And, all the X, Y's, and Z's. And so I've been talking to myself about that, but I would appreciate any feedback.
You have something to say to Naomi.
It's an A, Naomi.
Naomi.
I know.
No.
I think that's also something that hits me from time to time when I think how comfortable I am right now. And I'm comfortable in what I'm doing right now. And I have to say, and I don't mean to say this, I hope this doesn't come off snotty, but I think back to when I first became a director and then the pandemic, and I comfortably soar through the pandemic, very comfortably soar through the pandemic. Or I think maybe a lot of people experience the opposite. I was already disconnected from my move, and I had already experienced and gone through the grief and all of the other things that people were experiencing through the pandemic. So I felt ahead of the game and I was able to kind of just run with it. And I found my groove in the pandemic. And I was like, this is really cool. I get to have my cake and eat it too. I get to lay out by the pool and work. I get to like do all these things. And almost to the point where I was like praying the pandemic would never end, because I didn't want to have to go back to in person where I know I'm strongest, but where I put a lot of my energy in what it really taps me out. So at the end of the day, I'm like, whew, I gave all I got. And so that is a big fear for me also, Naomi, is like, okay, I sat next to this woman on the plane. This was the cool, you guys, I don't know if anybody else always has the best conversations after seminar. It's always on the plane next to some director who had twice the unit I had, but was looking at my circle of excellence as like something that, gosh, if I could only achieve that. And I'm looking at her million B's and I'm thinking, gosh, if I could only achieve that. And we just kind of kept going back and forth, and everything that she suggested, she's very much still virtual, but in a different way. It made me panic to think of having to restructure, right? Amy systems that we are comfortable in and we can control. And I think for me, the big thing that makes me panic is like, if I take on more, do I have to change the systems? And if I change the systems, then I'm not comfortable. And so what I realized at seminar this time around and listening to her, I didn't panic when I was listening to her, because I was like, that's not my system and it's not what works for me. And I feel like my system can work whether I've got 30 people in my unit, 130 of my people, 130 or 330. I've got my systems finally in order. And so I guess, Naomi, for me, not saying I'm in order, because there's a lot, I do this too. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to work more. Right? Is that what you mean, Naomi? Like, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to do more to get more.
Well, kind of. And that I already feel tired, and I'm like, I can't imagine doing more and feeling more tired, like.
Well, okay. Then you do more, or you have more people and you feel less tired. Okay. Do more, feel less tired. And the way you do that, the only way you can do that is what I was talking to Amy about. You're going to have to start doing smaller groups, maybe different, different stages. I don't know what they told you about the 15 by the 15th or whatever, 5 by the 15th, but you have to make it yours. Where am I comfortable? What can I do? Okay. And if it takes you longer to get where you want to go, then so be it, but it's your journey. It's your journey. And it's got to be done the way you want it done. There is no one way. There's no one way. But if you're not comfortable, okay, here's the key. If you're not comfortable, it's not going to work. End of story. Very simple. If you're out of your comfort zone, and I don't mean out of your comfort zone, you're stretching yourself a little bit. Okay, that can feel very exciting and comfortable. But if you're stretching yourself and you're just going, oh my God, this is going to kill me, then don't. Don't. Say no.
Okay. I think I need to reflect on how I can make it work for me. Because I know I need more people, and I enjoy working with the news. Some of my best experiences last month were working with 2 new people who have come in and are on fire, and they're just doing stuff, and it's exciting. So
Sure.
I think I just need to figure out how to make it work for me where I don't feel like I'm losing my mind.
Okay, well, journal. Okay, write it out. Write. Start with, this is what I want. This is how I'd like it to look. And then ask yourself, how do I feel? And if you go, then no, then back up, rework it, bring it here, let people give you input, you know? Of course you have to grow. I mean, everybody has to grow. I get it. And you also have to have a life that you value and that you're not so stressed out that you're missing it.
Mhm.
Yeah, for sure. So it's just, it's that kind of juggling act. And, but we can help, But ultimately, your heart, your feelings are the ultimate decider. Naomi.
Mhm. That's well said. And I feel that's very helpful. And I also have experienced, because when I started, I was single, and then I got married, and now I have kids, and I feel like it keeps, it always keeps changing a little bit. And now I'm entering the stage where my mom needs me to help her more after my dad passed and stuff. So there's always like life changes enough that once you figure it out, you're like, oh, I've got to refigure,
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, yes. But try to, mesh different worlds. If your mom needs you some more, maybe she would like to have I don't know her shape, but maybe she can look at the kids a little bit and you can go out, or she can come over and help you with your product line. I don't know, but try to integrate worlds. Try not to have kids, husband, mother, Mary Kay, all separate. If you can, I don't know if you can, okay, but think about some integration, because that's too many pulls. If you see it, that I have to do this, have to do this, have to do this, have to do this, and I go,
Yeah,
Right.
that's fun.
Try to integrate it a little bit. Yeah. All right, ladies, I'm gonna be thrown out of here. Okay, all good. We'll see you next week. You got the 10th. Go out there, get your consultants. I'm gonna help them a lot. Bethany, come back to us